You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is November 20th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Police Civil Service Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Before we start, I ask everybody to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 20th? The November 20th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Police Civil Service Commission. Before we take a roll call, I'd like to introduce everybody to our newest commissioner. He was appointed by the FOP, and his name is Mark Harris. He's a retired captain from the department. What, about 75 years you had him? Yeah, a little over 40. Yeah, a little over 40. So with that said, we'll do commission elections at next month's meeting. So I'll call the meeting order. Commissioner Simmons.
Here.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
And Commissioner Matsky is here. So we have a quorum. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, pass. Under old business, we recently, this past Saturday, had a hiring event. I didn't stick around for the conclusion of the physical fitness portion, but I believe, was there 5?
We had 6.
6 passed the written exam.
All 6 passed.
All 6 passed those. Okay, so we'll just wait for their background investigations. I'm sure they're being assigned or have been assigned.
Yeah.
And after their background investigations, then we'll conduct interviews of those applicants as we see fit, who's going to move on and who's not. We also had a promotional testing recently. I believe that was 2 Thursdays ago.
Mm-hmm.
That turned out very well. Everyone did well in their exams, and their interview portions have already been scheduled, and those will take place the week of December 2nd, I believe. And then after that, we'll start working on the promotional scores. And one other thing, with a heavy heart, I have to say that a former officer, Ron Demkowski, passed away. So we could take a moment of silence for him. Lieutenant Westfall and I had the pleasure of being friends with his son, Jason, and we grew up around Ron, and there'll never be another one like that guy, I promise you that. Too many stories to tell, but just had to. Okay, and with that, we'll give it to Lieutenant Westfall for probationary officer reports.
Morning. We'll start with probation officer Cassie Kukla. She just recently graduated from NILEA on November 15th. She did well, and she actually got top honors in criminal law by scoring 99% on her final exam for that. So congratulations to her, she did well. Probation officer Brandon Drake, he has started phase 4 in field training. He's on par and doing well. Probation officer Jared Kaselka is in phase 4 as well. Doing everything he needs to be doing, no issues there. Probationary officer Jacqueline Leach Hinson identified a few deficiencies with that, so we'll be reevaluating her as we go. Probation officer Micaiah Smallwood, he's in phase 4 now on the afternoon shift, and he's doing well. Probation officer Brandon Williams, phase 4 as well. He's on day shift and on track. Probation officer Brian Woodman, phase 4. He's on the midnight shift and doing what he needs to be doing. He's learning. There's still a little bit of improvement there for him, but we'll get there. Probation officer Hunter Miller, he is he's one of our laterals, and he has been operating on his own on the midnight shift and is doing outstanding. Probation officer Shane Monthagen, he's in phase 2, and he is currently on midnight shift. He's on track for his current phase. Probation officer Jacob Schuyler, he's another one of our lateral hires. He's actually returned to the MCPD, and he's up and running, operating on his own and doing very well. And finally, probation officer Amber Marty. She is a lateral hire, and she is here working and doing terrific.
I believe we have one opening left, is that correct?
Correct.
And that's gonna be filled by a lateral transfer from Valpo? Is that?
Yeah, I think we're still working through that process.
Okay.
Right? I think, potentially, I know that in this application group, there was 2 laterals applications. I think, we've already moved forward, I think, into the background investigations on those. And then we'll be going forward from there and, present that to the commission as we see fit. But yeah, one of them is Valpo, and the other one is LaPorte City. So.
Do we have any projected vacancies next year?
We do, we see Sergeant Michelle Wadowski is signed up to be done in May. Sergeant Tim Baker in August, and Officer Tackless in August as well. So I think as we proceed with, we're not under the rush that we're not as we've been.
Right.
So I think, just kind of traditionally as we've done through the application process, I think that'll put us in a good timeline to, seek the mayor's approval, hopefully March or something like that. We can maybe get 3 in the door before they retire, so.
Okay.
Good. Again, potentially, obviously looking to, get the full staff by the end of the year or early next year. So.
Good. It'll be the first time in 10
I
years?
don't think we've been fully staffed since 2019, beginning of 2019, so,
It's been a while.
yeah.
All right, new business. Have we been billed yet by the company for the promotional testing?
No.
No.
I have to check into the email
Okay,
for the total.
okay. But we have no other claims to be paid outside of that, I know. Okay, so we'll hand it over to Chief Crowe.
Again, I'd like to congratulate Amber Marty, our newest hire. We've had a meeting since she got hired, being a lateral transfer. Welcome aboard. She, took off running, working here. And then also congratulate Officer Cassie Kukula for her graduation from NILEA. We got to attend that graduation and very proud. We heard her top honors, be announced, and just to see her get through the process and see her family present. It was a good time for us. I have all these thoughts before I get them. We are gearing, we're gearing up for the holiday season, so we will have extra patrols out. Our holiday patrol schedule has been out to the officers, and we will we'll have extra cars out, specifically Thursday through, I think, Saturday or Sunday, out on the street. Friday through Sunday, out on the street for extra patrols. Holiday season's one of those seasons where, the robbers and the thieves and everybody come out, and it's just one of those times where you have more people out and about, and so we will have extra officers out. We also will be starting up a traffic enforcement grant will be starting up for us here for the next, I think, month from the state, kind of like a ticket or click it, but it kind of looks to enforce all different major traffic infractions or violations, I should say. We will be doing shop with our cops here December the 2nd. Thank you to Walmart, and a big thank you to NIPSCO, who's always our premier sponsor. And then also thank you to our other 2 sponsors, Utility Incorporated and Flat Safety, who will make sure we have the correct funding or proper funding so that all the participants can receive Christmas gifts. And then also we'll have Santa there, and we'll have food for them and snacks. It'll be a good time. I think we have probably about 75 to 80 participants who will receive Christmas gifts. So And then Walmart has always been a big partner, allowing us to use their, shop there. And then also use their facilities, some of their facilities for some of the extracurricular stuff that goes along with the shopping. So we're looking forward to that. Big shout out to Jocelyn, our social worker, who's continued to do things around here, but she's been collaborating big time with Girl Coalition of Indiana, and they've created several different series for some of the young girls to see how law enforcement works, but then also see how the courts and the other systems work too. They basically target girls anywhere from, I think it's 12 to 18. But also she's been doing girl movie nights where they network and also do some other things through that. So this year we've had a big collaboration with Girl Coalition of Indiana through different aspects of community outreach. I think that might be it for me. I'm sure Chief Work and Chief Cooney has some notes that they'll follow up. But again, and then just to end, thank you to the men and women of the Michigan City Police Department for their continued work on the community. I think we've continued to do what we need to do and serve the community as best as possible. And I think we have more things coming forward. But our men and women do a great job, and just want to let them know they're appreciated by this administration and by everybody present. So, and happy holidays, everybody.
Again, not just to reiterate everything Chief said, I'll just add, we do have graduation for our Citizens Academy. That's been going on for the last 6 weeks, and then we finish up our 7th week this Thursday. So again, we've had a great turnout. I'd like to think, it's been a great group, I think, and learning a lot of things. Again, seeing some of the inner workings of the police department, how we operate, and the way we do things. So again, we're looking forward to that tomorrow evening. Again, like Chief said, the holiday season, just remind people not to leave, you go shopping, right? Throw those items or whatnot in the trunk of your car. Don't make them an easy target, leaving them in the back seat where they can be seen and whatnot. So if you are shopping and about, just be aware of your surroundings and whatnot. And again, like Chief said, we'll have officers out, with additional patrols. Again, I'd like to thank the commission for doing the testing, getting that going. Obviously, we will have a few promotions, sergeant promotions, corporal promotions in the next year. I would say, again, I like this style of testing that we've done, having participated in it for the last couple. It focuses on some of our policies, procedures, rules of conduct, and whatnot, and then also adds some high-level leadership, I think, attributes to it, right? Some of the study materials and whatnot with that. So, again, it's not just a broad, supervisory test, right? It really hones in on some of our policies and procedures, which I think ultimately makes our officers better, whether or not they get promoted or not. They're studying our policies and our procedures and, rules of conduct and whatnot, which again educates them on those, and keeps us, operating accordingly, right? So again, I enjoy that style. I think, the other chiefs would echo that. Again, it just helps us educate our department on some of those things. So, yeah, thank you.
Good morning. I'll run through some of the stats here real quick from October. We had 3,593 calls for service, which was up from September 532. We had 381 case reports taken, which is 6 more than September. We had 29 more arrests than September for October, so we had 220, 19 of which were juveniles, 201 were adults. The Black Falcon or Raven system was used in 9 investigations, which is actually 9 less than the month before. Speaking of that, we had a smash and grab burglary last night for a cigarette outlet. That those suspects also hit a place in Porter County. We have already established a suspect vehicle, and they were a group from Chicago. So just being able to use the Falcon cameras is assisting with that. Again, very fast process, sped up the investigation. Shots fired calls, 4 less than September with 38. We also had 9 firearms seized. Again, one thing I mentioned last meeting was requesting that Hunter noted to be removed from probation. I don't know if we probably need to send a letter.
Just get you a letter by the end of the week.
How far is it, how far is he on?
He hired in May.
Okay,
Yeah, so he.
so is that past the 90 days?
Correct, yeah, well, that's it. So, he's doing well. He brings a lot of experience from South Bend PD. He's kind of jumping in. He's helped out with the Citizens Police Academy with some of the evidence. That's kind of his specialty on the patrol side of doing crime scenes. So he's working out really well for us. The one lateral, Sergeant Sofer has already scheduled her voice stress analysis, so that'll be next week, or actually the first week of December. So we'll get that rolling as well. So that's all I have.
Lieutenant? Nothing from us. Commissioner Simmons, would you like to say anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Glad to be here. Glad to have you. Definitely glad to have you. I did get a call or a email from Dr. Cora. He's the council representative. He couldn't make the meeting because of a scheduling conflict. But however, I did want to just go over the amount of lateral transfers that we've had since that was okayed and adopted by the city. I know there were some concerns by some councilmen why we hadn't been moving forward with the lateral transfers, and I think that individual just didn't understand the processes behind it, but that's up and going, and it's made a big difference with us being able to get up to full complement or nearly at full complement now, but soon to be at full complement. And so I do, again, appreciate that certain councilmen's efforts and to getting that adopted by the city and letting that be a process for hiring here. Other than that, I think we'll have one public comment today. I know we will.
Hello, Scott Mellinger on Kenwood Place. Couple things. I'd also like to recommend the Michigan City Citizens Police Academy as a good experience for people to attend, particularly if they're skeptical of the police, if they've got any issues they think. I think they'll learn a lot there. I know I have. And it's given me a greater appreciation of the work you guys do. And they feed you. So you can't go wrong there. This comes out wrong, but I got to shoot a cop. with the firearm. But he was, at that time, a hostage-taking murderer. So it was a good shoot. It's also great to hear about all the different outreaches the police department does. I mean, between the fishing tournament, and there was something else in the summer, and the girls' nights out, and the shopping for the kids. I mean, this is really a lot of good stuff. Coffee with the Chiefs. I really appreciate what you guys are doing to foster community relations. I brought this up at another meeting, I forget. It was Common Council 2 weeks ago. And it has concern with the wasted effort that you guys do for shoplifting when the shopkeepers don't follow up with the prosecution. So it's basically just a waste of our time and resources. So the question is, what can we do to get shopkeepers to go forward with prosecutions? Because there's a lot of calls for service, and then nothing happens effectively. And that's just using a lot of municipal resources. It's always a dangerous situation. So how can we incent the shopkeepers to prosecute so the citizens aren't wasting their time and the police aren't wasting their time? It's going to be greatly frustrating for the men and women of the force. And the last kind of open-ended question is, as you know, Michigan City has technically a high crime rate. What is driving that? I mean, we don't have I don't know if it's car break-ins, if it's burglaries, I don't know if it's assaults, but we have a great force that's doing good work. I don't see the town being particularly dangerous in my experience, but I don't have the same experience as other citizens do. So what's driving this reputation and actual fact? Again, it's just an open-ended question because I know you are all working toward reducing that, but it seems like we're not getting anywhere, at least as far as the statistics go. So I think it's a puzzle for all of us. And there's no blame here. It's just how can we do better so we get a better reputation and for crime.
I think it's a nationwide epidemic, Scott, not just concentrated here, but a lot of similar towns and cities throughout the US. And if you look at this town, historically it was a manufacturing, had NIPSCO, and so you go from people with a great living wage to 90% of it being retail business and people making less than a living wage.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way it's gone across the country.
So poverty and drugs, basically.
That brings crime.
Well, thank you again for all the good work you're doing. And again, I hardly recommend people attend the Assistant Police Academy.
Well, I will say, Scott, that this gentleman here is probably more responsible than anybody around here for that, and the Citizens Police Academy. He worked very closely with Sergeant Yagelski with that years ago, didn't you, Mark?
Yeah, I did a little bit of it, but
A little bit of
Chris
it.
handled quite a bit of it when we put it together, and when he put it together.
Yeah. It's been good, and the shop a cop with a cop thing has been great. I participated in those in the past, and you know, just to see those little kids walking around with you, because you walk around with them and they smile and they want to know everything about being a policeman, and it's just a good time for everybody. This is as good a time for the officers doing it as it is for the kids getting presents. It really is. Okay, so if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn the meeting. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 11th at 11 a.m. here in this room. And again, we'll be doing commission appointments at that time. Okay? All right. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Told you short, sweet.